The weirdest thing about this Paige Becker's article that was written by some wokey that ended up on The Guardian is that he believes that white America are the only ones that don't want to be fed woke sports propaganda either. But no, it's not just white America that is sick of activism in their sports. Latinos, Hispanics, Asians, blacks, that's right, Native Americans, many of them who are subscribed to both channels, by the way, with a combined subscriber base of 400,000, have overwhelmingly rejected this bullshit about this right here. Ex-NBA player claims white America hasn't embraced Paige Beckers like Caitlyn Clark. How about number one to start with?
What happens when sports fandom is hijacked by politics? The rivalry between Caitlyn Clark and Paige Becker's fans has gone too far, way beyond the basketball court. The debate has become toxic, with death threats and vitriol flowing from both sides, all fueled by one controversial article. But the truth is, it's not just about basketball anymore. It's about a manufactured narrative that risks overshadowing the brilliance of both players. Let's break this down, because there's so much more to this story than meets the eye. It all began with an article that stirred up an unprecedented storm in the sports world. Edan Thomas, a former NBA player, penned a piece for The Guardian in which he presented a bold and controversial claim. White America has embraced Caitlyn Clark, but not Paige Beckers, and the reason, he suggests, lies in Becker's outspoken activism for social justice. According to Thomas, Beckers takes a stand on critical issues, and that stance has led to her alienation from mainstream fans, particularly in white America. This is a dramatic claim that caught the eye of many, particularly those interested in the intersection of race and sports. It wasn't just a piece about basketball, it became a piece about race, politics, and fan behavior. However, let's pause here and reflect on the assumptions being made. The article, while certainly drawing attention, paints a dangerously oversimplified view of the situation. Thomas tries to reduce the complex dynamic between these two athletes into a race-driven controversy. But basketball fandom is far from a one-dimensional affair. It's about more than just politics or social justice stances. It's about the game, the skill, the players themselves. Yet Thomas frames this as a racial divide, ignoring the actual playing styles and basketball factors that have shaped these athletes' careers. By doing so, he creates a narrative that pits fans against each other, not based on their love of basketball, but based on their political or social beliefs. But here's the thing, there's a much simpler and more compelling reason for Caitlyn Clark's rise to fame that has nothing to do with activism or political alignment. Yes, she has made her views known on certain issues, but that's not what made her a household name. It's her game. Clark's popularity isn't rooted in a political divide. It's grounded in the way she plays basketball, a way that transcends race, gender, and geographical boundaries. Let's dive into what makes Clark such a captivating figure and why her appeal goes far beyond the claims made in Thomas's article. When we talk about Caitlyn Clark's popularity, it's crucial to recognize that it isn't simply a product of the color of her jersey or the demographics of her fans. Caitlyn Clark has become one of the most recognized names in women's sports because of her sheer game. She has completely transformed the way people view women's basketball. Forget the traditional narratives about the sport. Clark's signature logo three-pointers, her no-look passes, and her impeccable court vision have not only captivated basketball fans, but also attracted casual viewers who are new to the game. These are the moments that make her highlights go viral. She's breaking boundaries with her style of play. What makes Clark's game so special is the unpredictability and excitement she brings to the court. She plays with a level of flair and freedom that is rarely seen in women's basketball. You don't need to be a seasoned basketball expert to appreciate what she does. The casual fan can look at her and say, "Wow, that's incredible." Whether it's the deep three-pointers from well beyond the arc or the flashy passes that seem to come out of nowhere, Clark has created a style that is both thrilling and easy to understand. Her game isn't just technical, It's visually compelling. It's basketball at its most exciting and innovative. But Clark's story isn't just about on-court brilliance. It's about her journey. Clark chose to stay in Iowa, a state that wasn't known for dominating women's college basketball, instead of joining a traditional powerhouse like UConn or Tennessee. Her decision to remain loyal to Iowa and the way she transformed the team from an underdog into a national contender is a narrative that resonates with so many fans. It's the story of someone who stayed true to their roots, even when the easier path would have been to join a more successful program. And that resonates with fans beyond Iowa. Clark's story embodies the spirit of an underdog, and people love an underdog story. Her impact is far-reaching, not just in the Midwest, but across the entire country. Clark's popularity is not confined to a specific group of fans. Her journey and her skill set have drawn fans from all walks of life, from those who have always been basketball enthusiasts to those just discovering the game. It's a testament to her ability to connect with a wide range of people, regardless of their background or political views. People are drawn to her because she represents basketball at its most dynamic, where pure talent and hard work create a player who can change the landscape of the sport. So, when we look at Caitlyn Clark's unmatched popularity, it's clear that it's not a matter of race or politics. It's a matter of performance. Her dazzling style of play, her narrative as an underdog, and her ability to capture the hearts of basketball fans everywhere are the real reasons she's become a phenomenon. Now, let's shift gears and turn our attention to Paige Beckers. From the moment she hit the college basketball scene, Beckers was hailed as one of the most talented and dynamic players in the game. At UConn, she quickly became a star, known for her ability to score, defend, and read the game. But while her talent was undeniable, her career took an unexpected turn, one that would shift the trajectory of her journey and her public perception. Unfortunately, injuries have played a significant role in Becker's career, and in many ways, they've limited her ability to make the same impact that Clark has. Most notably, she missed the entire 2022 to 2023 season due to an ACL tear, which meant that at the height of Clark's meteoric rise, Beckers was sidelined. These injuries are not just a footnote in her career, they have fundamentally changed the way the world has viewed her. While Clark was breaking records and pushing the game forward, Beckers was forced to watch from the sidelines. That's a tough pill to swallow for any athlete, but especially one who had been poised to dominate the sport. Beyond her injuries, Beckers has also been vocal about using her platform for social justice. She has spoken out on issues ranging from racial equality to gender rights, and her advocacy has sparked both admiration and criticism. Thomas's article suggests that this activism has played a role in her waning popularity among certain fan bases. But here's the thing, it's not just her activism that's led to the disparity between her and Clark's visibility. It's the timing of her injuries, the team she plays for, and the fact that Clark's rise has coincided with a pivotal moment in women's basketball. Beckers is undeniably skilled, and her contributions to the game cannot be overstated. But there's a reason why Clark's rise has outpaced hers: timing, style, and narrative. Clark has built a new chapter in the women's game, while Beckers, though brilliant, has faced unfortunate setbacks that have affected her exposure. But this doesn't take away from her immense talent. It simply speaks to how the world of sports, particularly women's sports, often hinges on timing and circumstances that go beyond a player's control. And this is where things take a turn for the worse. What started as an opinion piece in The Guardian quickly spiraled out of control. The reaction to Etan Thomas's article wasn't just some heated disagreement between fans. It went much deeper. One fan, showing just how out of hand things had gotten, responded to a basketball commentator's criticism of the article with a chilling message. What if you dead ass kill yourself? The commentator's crime? Simply critiquing the inflammatory premise of the piece. This was not a heated, passionate debate about basketball. This was something darker, something dangerous, a level of toxicity that no sports rivalry should ever reach. The response from this fan wasn't a fluke. It was a symptom of a much larger issue that has taken root within the rivalry between Clark and Becker's supporters. As these two groups dug into their corners, social media platforms became battlegrounds. not for a discussion about basketball skills or achievements, but for personal attacks, threats, and harassment. The situation had escalated beyond the sport and became something much uglier. Instead of talking about the intricacies of the game, the focus shifted to race, politics, and culture. That's what happens when a sports debate gets hijacked by issues that don't belong in the conversation. The article's framing of the rivalry pushed fans into a corner where they had to choose sides, not based on basketball, but on political and social issues. What should have been a healthy debate about playing styles, statistics, and personal journeys instead became a war of words, where insults, personal attacks, and threats became the order of the day. This is the result of reducing fans' interests and preferences to simple racial and political categories. What made the rivalry even worse was the fact that fans were so emotionally invested in the fabricated narrative that they stopped seeing each other as fellow basketball lovers. They became enemies based on fabricated sides, one side supporting one player because of their political or racial identity, and the other opposing them for the same reasons. And it wasn't just a fan squabble anymore. It became a public relations nightmare for women's basketball. What's even more troubling is how these kinds of toxic behaviors have real-world consequences. Death threats and hate speech are no longer isolated incidents. They've become part of the regular discourse surrounding these players, and that's a reflection of how deeply divided and ugly the discussion has become. No one wins in this kind of environment, least of all the players themselves. Here's where the media plays a significant role in exacerbating the problem. The job of the media should be to provide analysis and coverage of the game itself, highlighting the skills, the narratives, and the accomplishments of the players. Instead, this article, like many others, decided to make the game about everything but basketball. Rather than focusing on the extraordinary talents of Caitlyn Clark and Paige Becker, the article presented their rivalry as a clash of political stances. What does this do? It creates a false dichotomy. The narrative then becomes about which player represents which cultural value or political viewpoint. Suddenly, Caitlyn Clark is framed as the champion of mainstream America, while Paige Becker is cast as the voice of social activism. But this framing oversimplifies the situation, ignoring the far more compelling factors that drive fans' admiration for these players, their talent, their skill, and the stories that have shaped their careers. By focusing on politics and social issues, the article, and others like it, does a disservice to the sport and the players themselves. It reduces basketball to something it should never be, a political battleground. It takes away from the essence of why people love the sport because it's about athletic excellence, not cultural divisions. The players themselves deserve to be celebrated for their unique talents on the court, not reduced to symbols of a political fight that goes far beyond sports. Let's be clear. Caitlyn Clark and Paige Becker deserve recognition for what they bring to the game, not for what they stand for off the court. It's a disservice to both of them to have their careers defined by their stances on social issues, when in reality, what defines them is their brilliance on the basketball court. Basketball should remain a sport where players are appreciated for their skill, hard work, and the stories of perseverance they embody, not for how they align with or challenge social movements. At the end of the day, the beauty of basketball is that it transcends boundaries. It's a universal language, something that anyone, regardless of race, background, or political affiliation, can appreciate and enjoy. Whether you're watching it as a lifelong fan or a newcomer to the sport, basketball speaks for itself. It's a game of skill, strategy, teamwork, and passion. And that's why Caitlyn Clark and Paige Becker should be celebrated, not just for who they are off the court, but for their undeniable skill and dedication to the game itself. Caitlyn Clark has revolutionized women's basketball in ways that can't be ignored. Her fearless style of play, with her long-range shooting, flashy passes, and overall court vision, has changed how people view the game. She's brought an excitement to women's basketball that many fans hadn't seen before. But Clark's brilliance is just one side of the story. Paige Becker's, too, represents excellence in her own right. While Clark's style is dynamic and flashy, Becker's brings a different kind of brilliance to the game. She's smooth with the ball, a master of mid-range shots, and a defensive mastermind with a basketball IQ that's off the charts. These two players embody different facets of the game. Clark with her explosive, fast-paced play, and Beckers with her strategic, calculated approach. Both are essential to the sport's growth. What makes both players stand out is their ability to capture the hearts of basketball fans from all walks of life. Whether you're drawn to Clark's high-scoring, show-stopping style or Becker's versatile, calculated game, there's something in their play for everyone. And that's what basketball is all about, embracing the diversity of talent and celebrating the different ways the game can be played. We should be appreciating these players for what they contribute to the game, not dividing them based on political or social issues. The reality is that both Clark and Beckers are incredibly talented individuals who deserve recognition for their skill, leadership, and the impact they've had on women's basketball. It's time to refocus on what really matters: basketball. Let's celebrate these players for what they do on the court and remember that in the end, it's the game that unites us all. So, what should we take away from all of this? Basketball, at its core, is about the game, the passion, the skill, the teamwork, and the stories of perseverance. Caitlyn Clark and Paige Beckers are two extraordinary athletes, each with their own unique style and story. We don't need to pit them against each other based on politics or social issues. We should celebrate their talent, their contributions to the game, and the incredible ways they've both elevated women's basketball. Let's get back to what matters. Hit subscribe if you believe basketball should be about basketball. Drop a comment with your favorite aspect of both players' games, and smash that like button to support real basketball-focused coverage. Let's keep the focus where it belongs, on the game.